Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Moran and this is the place where I share my CrochetObjet knitting journey and everything that I feel like sharing during those horrifying war days here in Israel. Today is Wednesday and we had a bit of a complicated week here in Israel. On Sunday morning, we woke up to the news that two of our hostages were released in a very special and complicated kind of operation out of Gaza, out of Hamas hands, brought back to home, brought back to Israel to be with their loved ones. And it was quite a heavy emotionally week, I think, for all of us, but I want to keep this update personal. And for me, I woke up this morning and I told to my husband, I feel like I want to go to sleep and wake up when it's all over. I wasn't sure how will I be and if I will be able to sit in front of the camera and to record a weekly episode. But eventually I decided, I gathered all the things that I wanted to share with you today. I also tried to vlog during the beginning of the week, which wasn't very successful. And I gathered all the footage that I have and I decided to sit and record an episode. A few minutes before I was sitting in front of the camera, I got a lovely message in WhatsApp and also via Instagram. And I thought, wow, I felt very, very lucky because I felt like somebody up there is thinking of me and he really see my pressure. I feel like I get managed by a lot of, or with a lot of pressure and a lot of stress in my life now. And this message was something that, somebody is pushing you in the back and give you this little kick to start, working with or to start moving with. So a few minutes before I started recording, I got a message from Paula Venzo from Mayak Fibers. She is in the Mayak Fiber company has a booth in the Madrid yarn or Madrid knitting show, fiber show. I'm not exactly sure what show it is, but she wrote such heartwarming words to me, saying that my Shinjuku scarf, a pattern that I made using Mayak Fibers yarns, she said it was like the most appreciable or loved crochet pattern in the show. She sent such lovely message. You can see it on my Instagram grid and I shared it on my story just a few minutes before sitting in front of the camera. So what a nice way was arranged for me to start this week's episode with. So thank you, Paula, and thank you, angels that took care of it. Anyway, I have quite a few creative stuff to share with you today. I will talk as I knit a square into my Coziest Memory Blanket, but for today's video I prepared one finished object to share with you and works in progress that I'm busy working with. Maybe I'll show you a new custom. I'm not sure yet, but we will see how long this episode will be. I also want to show you what arrived in the mail, and I also wanted to announce the giveaway winner for the Coziest Memory Starter. As I said at the beginning, I tried to vlog at the beginning of this week, but it was just too hard for me. And when I watched the footage, I didn't like what I saw, and I eventually decided to skip most of it and take, bits and to gather bits of it here in this video. So at the end of the video, I will share a little bit of me in the kitchen. Of course, in weeks like this, this one or in days like these, I, you know, quite automatically escape to the kitchen, feel very good to be there, feel it is like, I don't know, a good thing for me to spend some time in the kitchen and to take care of my family. And I made sauerkraut, so I took footage of me making it, if you like to see it at the end of this episode. I also took some footage for you from our lovely Mondays meeting and Knit Night, both meetings on this week. I have to say it's much easier for me to take footage out of Monday's club because it's a morning meeting and the light is really very good for, taking footage. And in the Knit Night, it's during late afternoon and it's a little bit more complicated, and I don't like a lot of the footage that I have is too yellow for me with those artificial lights. I'm not an artificial lights person. So there is, I think there are a lot more to see. There's a lot more to see from Mondays than from Knit Night, so I'm sorry about that. It doesn't say anything about Knit Night girls. They are busy with beautiful projects that I would love to share, but not all of them are, became like they show the footage with the artificial lights doesn't do justice with the project. So this is why you will see less of it. I also started a new journey that I shared on my previous episode. I started a kefir fermentation, goat milk fermentation, and I make kefir, and I started growing kefir grains. So I also have a little bit of that to show you. So I think we can start. Let's see how will I mix it all together here. It's a very generous mixture of things that I want to share with you today. Yeah, and I will share the giveaway winner at the end of the episode. So yeah, I think we can start. Let's first start with what I'm wearing. I'm wearing my airy sweater by Isabell Kraemer. I knitted it out of DK yak wool that I purchased on Edinburgh Yarn Festival. I checked it for you before I started recording. It was the last festival, Edinburgh Festival, and it was on March 2019. And I think it was one of the first booths that I met there. The name of the company is KETTLE YARN CO, and the name of the dyer is Linda, and she had this lovely DK yak. And I know if you're not new here, I think you know how I love yak, how I love to wear yak against the skin. It's for our weather, it's brilliant. So I'm wearing it today right on top of the skin, so nothing underneath it, only my skin, and it feels great. This is the third day in a row that I wear this sweater. I don't have any problem to wear the same things day after day. This is me, you know me. I don't have like a rich wardrobe. I don't like to have too many things and too many clothes in my wardrobe. I know I'm a strange woman, but this is me. So yeah, I wear it 3 days in a row. I really like it. Last days are very like wintry, kind of cold days here, so it's perfect for me. And yeah, I think I knitted it not a lot after I came back from Edinburgh, so maybe during 2019. So I have it I have it since then. I knitted it with quite a lot of positive ease, so I like to wear it with jeans and to tuck it inside my jeans, and yeah. So this is what I'm wearing. I think we can move on to the finished object I wanted to share with you today. And last Saturday I finished bind off my stripy scrappy stocks. I didn't have a lot of yarn ends to weave in because I did the weave and Steven when I started a scrap round and when I finished the second scrap round. So I didn't have a lot of yarn ends to weave in, which was very, very nice. Also on Friday morning, I wrote everything about this lovely making, cheerful making on my blog. So if you didn't have the chance to see it, you can check it out on CrochetObjet.com. I shared all the details regarding what yarns I used and needle size and all the details and a lot more pictures of this cheerful making. It was a very pictured process. It was asking me to take pictures on the process. It was looking at me and saying, take pictures, we are so beautiful. So yeah, the blog post is quite heavy pictured. And on Sunday morning, I soaked them and blocked them, and now they are ready to go. Not that I didn't wear them before blocking, but usually I like to block. I don't always use the sock blockers because sock blockers make the rib a lot wider, and I don't always like it. Anyways, I finished them with a taste of more. I wanted to make more. I want to make more, so I kept my basket. I kept this scrappy basket still. It's still here next to me, waiting for me to cast on the next stripy scrappy socks. So this is a finished object that I wanted to share with you. I made some notes and I'm sitting in front of my computer, so excuse me if I take a look at my notes. Sorry, but makes it a little bit easier for me to manage everything I want to share with you today. Next is a work in progress. So next I wanted to share with you my progress with my soft rose throw, a summer throw that I am busy making for quite a while. So this week I made quite a progress. I crocheted quite a few squares. I think I now have 57 squares ready. And this week I spread them on our bed because I plan to make a summer throw to our bed. And I spread them over on the bed just to take a look and to see how it looks. And I particularly wanted to see if I want to incorporate these kind of two colors squares and these kind of squares. So I spread them on the bed and I try to spread these two like special squares, and eventually I was also afraid to go ahead and crochet too many solid squares, plain squares, one color, because I said, okay, if I want to incorporate another kind of square, it's better if I know now how many of them I have to make, so I don't want to make too many of these solid squares. Eventually, I think I prefer my throw to be or really made out of just only these ones, the plain solid one color ones, and I might add a few of this type of square, which here it's good that I checked, because if I'm going to incorporate this kind of square, I'm good to go. I can, go ahead and make all the squares needed for the blanket. This little detail is added after the square is completed. It's a front post slip stitch round that I add after I complete the entire square. So it's not a problem. I now checked it. I will still need to think of the size, because I might go for 13 or 14 squares by 9, maybe by 10, I'm not sure. Anyway, I now have 57, and I can, be quiet that I can go ahead and crochet those solid squares as many as I want. I don't have to, change the color and think about the yarn and how many of each I have, because these are not going to be part of this throw, of my summer throw. And the soft rose solid square, this kind of like, this soft rose square is, I have a full tutorial for this square, how I crochet these squares here on my YouTube channel. I will link it down below in the description box for you. Anyways, this is the update of where I am with this project. And before I move on to update you with my next project, I will have to share the next segment, which is what arrived in the mail. So last week I got this lovely package of hand-dyed wool. There are many of them here, and I'm not sure if you can see the colors. Anyway, I received this lovely package from a lovely follower, lives in Sweden, and she wrote, she lives, I think, most of her life in Sweden. She told me she came to live here in Israel for a few years, but she came back to Sweden, and she wrote in Hebrew, lovely handwriting in Hebrew, and she said it's a woolly hug from Sweden, and all of these yarn, all of these like little leftover balls are from Sweden indie dyers, and she gave me a list of all the dyers so I can go ahead and check them out if I want. And I loved it. I just love this package. I can't tell you how I loved it, but I can show it to you, because this week I was busy adding the row number 10 onto my Coziest Memory Blanket. So here I am adding my row number 10. Let's see. Very hard to see on camera, but of course I had to drop my needle, and then if I want to knit next to you, here it is. So now I'm adding row number 10, and I started it using those beautiful yarns that Yael sent me from Swedish indie dyers. So this was the first one, and this one was another one from this package, and I think this one is from the row 1 January package, from my row 1 subscription. Let's see, I'm not sure, because this row is starting to be a mixture of yarn from Yael's package, from the package Yael gifted me, and from row 1. Sorry, do I show it to you on the wrong side? I think. Let's do it again. Let's try. So this is the right side of row number 10 on my Coziest Memory Blanket. And this is a mixture of row 1 yarns and yarns from the package from Yael. Thank you, Yael. Yeah, I think this is a row 1. Like, for sure, this one is a row 1 wool, hand-dyed wool, and this one from row 1, and this one for sure. And the one I add now calls Axinite by Yarnashes Fibers. Yeah, this is the one I add now to my blanket. So I think let's count together, because I didn't count how many squares I added to row number 10. This is the 11th square that I add now. So yeah, this is the second work in progress that I wanted to share with you today. This morning I just, started to cast on a new pair of socks just because it's impossible for me not to have, socks on the go. I really, really love to have socks on the go. So I use Malabrigo yarn that I purchased on my visit to yarn store here. I shared it on not the previous episode, but the one before. I shared my visit to the shop and I cast on a new pair, and I think I am going to make another pair of these, which is a future design that I plan to publish in my Etsy and Ravelry stores later this year. And for now, this pattern is already written. I wrote it for my local groups, knitting clubs, and we decided to call them the waterfall socks. They were made when we were visiting Austria, the Austrian Alps. We were hiking in the Austrian Alps, surrounded by waterfalls. So we decided together to call them the waterfall socks. So I cast on, and I think this is what I'm going to knit. I have these two yarns in my stash, and I think this is the second waterfall pair that I will knit, and while checking my pattern so I can, get it ready to publish for test knitting and then to publish it. So I think this is everything I wanted to share with you regarding all my knittings projects. And yeah, I think I told you on the previous episode that I started a kefir fermentation journey, and yeah, I'm very excited about it. And when I first started it, a friend of mine, she advised me to purchase special enzymes from a local website and then to use it with a whole goat milk, and that's what I did. But one day, I think on one of our weekend walks, Eyal told me that he's not sure this is the way to do kefir, because kefir is something that is, being done for generations. And so when we came home, Eyal went to look on the internet, and he got to know about a Facebook group that is dedicated for fermenting. And then he joined to this Facebook group, and he asked there, do you know maybe? To be honest, we first checked and we saw on YouTube that you have to raise grains. And so when Eyal joined this Facebook group, he asked, do you know about do you know where can I get grains to grow my own grains for kefir? And he immediately got a response, I think Friday, about 10 days ago or maybe more. We drove to like 10 minutes from our home to a nice lady, and she gave us like a teaspoon of grains, and she said you will have to grow them before you can use them because it's too little. So go home, put them in half cup of milk. She gave us the first portion, and then she said you have to replace it and to feed it every 24 hours. And we told her, Eyal told her, I have a lot of experience with growing my sourdough starter, and she was very interested. So the next Friday, we drove to her with sourdough starter to give her so she can use it. She was very, very excited. Ever since we got it from her, every morning we feed our baby grains, and now we have more than tablespoon already, and Today it was the first morning that I poured half a liter on top of my washed grains. So every morning I put them through a strainer. The milk that is there, it's already almost a kefir texture, so you put it in the fridge, but the grains that are left are these starter grains. You have to wash them in water. They look pretty much like little pieces of cauliflower. And then you have to put them in a clean glass and feed them with another portion of milk. This morning was the first time I feed them and put half liter because, as we understand, you need to have 2 tablespoons for a whole liter of milk. And we use only whole goat milk because this is what we like. And I have to say, this is so tasty. Until now, we used the enzymes, but we also took like cup of the kefir that we had from the enzymes, and we added it to, room temperature milk. After 24 hours, we placed it in the refrigerator, and after 2 or 3 hours, you have kefir made, and it's really delicious. It's delicious. Yeah, very exciting. So now I have my sourdough baby, and I have also Kefir Starter. I also have a Coziest Memory Blanket starter, and I will put here on the screen the name of the winner. If you are here, if you watch, please contact me to the email below, momalron@crochetobjet.com, and I will need your full name, full address, and I will be mailing it to you during the next week. I hope the name on the screen I showed on the screen will contact me, but if not, on the next episode I will contact another name from the list. It was very hard to choose. It broke my heart, and I said this is the last time I do a giveaway because I want to give away to all those nice people that took the time to comment and say how excited they are with this idea of Coziest Memory Starter. But I only have one sample to give away. So let's see. If the person that I announced today will not react during this week, I will next week announce the next person. And looking at my table now, which if you had a chance to look, it looks like, a lot of projects and a lot of yarns, and my knitting journal is open here to remind me that I wanted to update you, that I updated all the details on my last finished object, Masa Bruhet, and the stripy scrappy socks. I added all the details into my knitting journal, so all the weekly knitters here have all the details. So this is also done this week. So I think this is it for today. I haven't knitted so much as I chat with you, but I really enjoyed sitting here with you. I hope you enjoyed it as well. And I hope you are busy making something that makes you happy and brings joy to your life. So I will end this video with some footage I took for you this week. I hope you will enjoy. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!
So yeah, after the Monday girls left, I got everything in the studio, reorganized everything, and yeah, I went out to prepare some things I needed to prepare before lunch, and then I had lunch with the boys, and then I don't know what happened, but I felt completely out of energy. It is what it is. I'll spend some time here on the sofa. Yeah, I might watch Kate from the last Homely House. I saw she uploaded a new video to her YouTube channel. She's one of my favorite YouTube channels to watch, so I'll spend some time with her. I might bring some knitting or crochet to keep me company, but I think I'll try to take it easy and spend a slow rest of the day. It was quite like a big news day because 2 of our hostages got out of Gaza, and there are a lot of news and a lot of information regarding this, and I spent some time, also I talked with the boys. Our eldest is very much into the news, and he updated me, and then I got to read. He gave me an article or sent me an article to read, and this might, maybe this is part of my low energy at the moment, but it is what it is, and I'll spend as much time as needed here on the sofa.